Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive. So let's talk about buying a manual transmission Toyota Tacoma. You know, I had one before. It was a 2020. I special ordered it, waited 6 months for that truck to come in, paid about $42,000 or so for it, if I recall. But how did I like it? And the big question is, what do you expect, or what should you expect? And would I buy another manual transmission Toyota Tacoma? First of all, before I get into it, make sure, if you're new, that you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So let's talk about it. Right now, I have a 2021 automatic Toyota Tacoma. Like I mentioned, I had the manual before, and I gotta say, I was excited. You know, I thought it would be really fun to drive, up to date, modernized, all that good stuff, because it was a 2020. You know, I've had many manual transmission vehicles over the years, both cars and trucks. And first off, let me say, and I'll probably catch some flack for this, but the best manual transmission that I've ever had is the Honda Civic. Honda does an awesome job, or did. I don't know if you can even buy a new manual Honda anymore, but they did a fantastic job with the manual transmission. Now, why is it so much better? And it is better than what Toyota was doing, or is still doing, I guess. I don't know for how much longer, but in the Toyota Tacoma. The Honda's better because it's smooth. The clutch is smooth. It's like buttery smooth. You barely have to put any effort into depressing it. I like that. I don't want my left leg to be massive while my right leg is not, if you know what I'm saying. So I love the clutch in it. That was the first part. I mean, that's the first thing you always experience when driving a manual. At least it should be. So I love that about the Honda. It also shifted very, very smooth. Everything was in the right spot. Was easy to get into gears, never questioning where you're gonna be or whether or not you're gonna hit the right spot. Not so much with the Toyota Tacoma. You know, the first thing I noticed, and it wasn't horrible, don't get me wrong. I'm speaking to the nth degree here when I talk about manual transmissions, because I am looking for driving experience. And yeah, I know it's a truck. And you know, that's a cop-out, I think. A lot of people will respond right away. Well, it's a truck. It's supposed to be rough. Why? I pay 40 grand for a vehicle. I don't expect it to be any more subpar than anything else. I expect it to be just as good. We're not back in the 1930s. You know, this strange thinking that because it's a truck, it should be lesser than anything else is absurd to me. We need to get away from that. We need to expect at least as much out of our trucks as we do out of other vehicles. Otherwise, let's cut the price down to, I don't know, $20,000 and then sell us a subpar vehicle. So, what's it like to drive a manual transmission Toyota Tacoma? Well, first of all, reverse is in the wrong spot. Reverse is all the way over to the left and up, just left of first gear. And that was always an issue for me. I never did get used to that. You see, I'm old school. Reverse should be all the way over to the right and down. That's where reverse goes. And I think the problem in my brain was the over and down, or backwards, in other words, signifies reverse because you're going back, right? Whereas in the Toyota Tacoma, when you go up and over and then forward, that's a forward motion. It just doesn't click. When I'm gonna hit reverse, the shifter should show reverse as well. I don't know, it's a weird little thing. But anyway, they put it right beside first. So there were a few occasions where I would actually hit reverse when I was trying to hit first, like at a stoplight. And of course, that can be a problem if you're not paying attention, right? Could you imagine? Light turns green, you hit the gas, and you're going backwards. Now, chances are there's somebody behind you. That's never a good thing. But forgetting about that, that's probably just me, right? I never did get used to it. Maybe you would. But it's not smooth. You can't fly through the gears. And again, I know it's not a sports car, but still, it's fun to go and do a little spirited driving once in a while, you know, where you're taking off the line, you're out all by yourself, and you want to run through the gears. I mean, that's why you get a manual transmission anyway, isn't it? What other reason is there these days to buy a manual over an automatic if you don't enjoy running through the gears? I mean, off-roading, it's been, I think, proven that it's better to have an automatic transmission if you're a big-time off-roader. It's just easier to control. So there really is no other reason, at least in my mind, to have a manual transmission over an automatic, except for the fun of driving, the thrill of going through the gears. You know, I learned how to drive on a manual transmission. We didn't have an automatic. So I've been driving a manual transmission since I was 16, 15 and a half years old, something like that. A lot of experience in the seat. It's been at least 10 years since then, you know, times 4, or 5. I don't know. It's been a while. 4. But I've had a lot of experience with it, and I've got to say the Toyota Tacoma probably has the worst manual transmission that I've ever driven. Now, it doesn't mean it isn't fun to drive. If you're a manual transmission enthusiast, it still is a manual, and of course, you can still go through the gears, and that is fun. But would I buy one again? Would I buy another manual transmission Toyota Tacoma? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. To be honest, when I first got in that truck, when I first picked it up at the dealer, I was expecting more. I was expecting something up to date, something smooth, something fun to drive, and that's not what I got. I got something clunky, something that was a bit rough, and of course, pair that with the built-in lag of the Toyota Tacoma, which, by the way, the Sprint booster completely gets rid of that, makes it the manual, I believe, as best it can be in the Toyota Tacoma. But stock, it just wasn't fun to drive, and I was disappointed. So no, I would not buy another one. Do I recommend anybody buy one? Well, it depends. You know, if you really love the old style stick, the old style manual, and that's your thing, then the Toyota Tacoma manual transmission is probably for you. Just not for me. I want something more modern feeling, something that's a little bit more fun to drive. Anyway, leave a comment, let me know, and I'm sure you have an opinion. If you drive a manual transmission Toyota Tacoma, or if you've had one, what do you think of it? Do you really like it, especially compared to other manual transmissions out there that you may have driven? I'd be curious to know. Be honest. Also, once again, real quick, if you didn't in the beginning, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. I do have 2 additional channels. Robmotive JT, all about Jeeps, and particularly the Jeep Gladiator. And a Robmotive FST, all about full-size trucks. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.